So are you getting Jamaican? We can get the later one. Okay.
Hey, never worry about that. So good to see you. How you do? Miss Mish, what's
Hi.
up?
Nothing. Taking a rough life easy. See, every time I move,
Michelle,
my head cut off.
what kind of dress that you have on? It look pretty
And I
bad.
just,
How
oh,
are?
nice. Yes, if we can't enough fund me, I have to go through my closet to find work.
Michelle, want what do you call it again?
A sponsor.
No, man,
Michelle,
Jamaica have a different name.
weekend.
Jamaica, Jamaica have a different name. It's not Boops anymore.
Oh,
It was Boops, and then what else now?
No, Michelle don't need that. We are talking to Leon. Michelle just want to go party.
No, yeah, that message. She said she wants somebody to sponsor me. That's that American term. The sponsor thing. You know, you want
sugar, I know sugar daddy.
Sugar daddy, Boops. Who else? What is the name? Boop. But Dianna, come on, you live in Jamaica. You're supposed to know them things.
I don't know.
Sugar daddy and Boops are all-time business.
Well, that me know Boops. Say Boops.
No, but Boops are running an 80s though.
Say Boops.
Boops are 80s thing. Sugar daddy had a 90s thing, but them have a new name now.
Tell me, are you more for knowing now?
Well, them are tell you. Tell me what them are call you.
You tell me.
Where I say, yes, yeah, are you a kind of Boops? A Boops, a sugar daddy, a kind of.
Tell me what them are call you.
What the girls them call you?
I'm the water.
What?
Good evening, everyone. This is Leo Gilling alongside Michelle. Well, let me give her the right title. Attorney Michelle Fanger. And then Dr. Dianna Davis Smith. How are you guys this evening? How do you do?
Wonderful. Can't complain.
Michelle, remember Leo is not supposed to be doing the show. It's us interviewing Leo.
Yes!
No. We have only things to talk about. We have only things to talk about.
No.
We call it the COVID. You know how much people are there in Jamaica? 20 people are there. 20 people a day.
We understand, but we want to think about something different right now. They want a break mentally. They have been locked down for 3 days in Jamaica.
No. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. We have to help them to think about COVID and what the implications are.
We can't mute Leo till in the answer question.
I try mute him, but we can't mute him. But Leo, let me tell you, you don't have to worry so hard about Jamaica because over 50 categories of persons are exempt from the lockdown. So at least 50 categories of people. So 50 categories of people get let on exempt and then can go the road.
A lie!
So,
I didn't know that one.
Yes.
And then it's so big.
That includes politicians.
And some personnels.
Certain personnels.
Yeah. And some of them are so vague, so you can fall into any category.
Yeah.
So lockdown don't really mean lockdown then?
Yes, it's lockdown for some people. Some people must get locked up the other day. I don't know very many of them. Then no trouble.
I wonder if the category of people includes some of the people in downtown. The 50 category. Some of the people in downtown.
Well, I suppose if they work in certain places or if they have some affiliation with other institutions, yes.
Oh, so they have to work for being in the category.
Yes, you have to belong to a particular group and another group, or they might go to church, so they're exempt. And so
I can make a case. For the poor people who don't work, who are farm and stuff, that them are lockdown, them are under lockdown restrictions.
The poor people downtown who have farms, but they don't have no farm downtown.
Yeah, I think there was some exemptions for food, like people involved in the farming industry, fishermen.
Why you never tell me? Why you never give me the list?
I sent it to you.
You did?
I did. So obviously you're ignoring my messages.
Can we?
So
Can you
we'll
pull it
address
up?
that.
Can you pull it up for the people? And
We
since you
will
don't
pull it up
understand it,
after. Now,
After,
ladies and
we want to
gentlemen,
ask you.
Miss
we don't
Michelle,
have no
as
phone. We don't have
attorney,
no phone. We
we
don't have no
welcome
phone.
you to tonight's program. And as we promised, we are going to ask Leo some questions. We are going to interview. So between Michelle and myself, we will have Leo shut up about other things and answer our questions. So welcome and thanks for joining. Michelle,
I like the word. I like the word.
out
Shut up.
there?
Okay,
Like-
first we have Michelle Barnes says, good night, everyone. Nancy Brown says, UK in the house.
UK.
Girl said, girl, them sugar Leo. Macy Thomas said, yes, mute him, please. Anthony Matalan, I don't know if he wants to be a sugar daddy or what.
I should have. Come on, Anthony.
Number
Man.
is 876-787-7803.
Ah!
A good old no free number that you know, a good old somebody number. that
I just started said good evening, Queen Diana, Queen Michelle, King Leo, and fellow listeners.
Hey, Miss.
Arlene said Grand Cayman.
Okay. So we have full representation here. So let us start off by saying, Leo, thank you so much for being here. And for
Can we add the
Shut up.
on YouTube?
For the next hour.
Oh, yeah, YouTube people.
Thank you.
And we have Diana from Los Angeles.
One time run off.
And Jennifer Bennett says good night, everyone.
Oh, I wish I knew who their names were on YouTube, so I just take my time and call their names, you know. And
yeah,
so
we have somebody from Niagara Falls.
Niagara. Yeah, I was supposed to be at Niagara this week. I really promised myself to be at Niagara Falls this week. I really, really did.
Okay, that seemed like you try to get distracted from me. Okay, let's start, Dr. Diana. Let's go.
So, Leo, thank you so much for being here this evening. It's always such a pleasure to see you and to be in your company. So tell us now, Leo, where you did born?
Where Leo come from?
Where you come from? Where you come from? Tell us which school you went to, who was your favorite teacher at school, and then we're going to go to your career. So tell us.
All right. Since you're not calling me, yeah? You're not calling me. All right. We forgot something never is supposed to be on the show tonight. We're going to just go and take the show, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'm born in a wonderful place, about 3 miles out of the center of Orocobessa, one place named Stuartown. Anybody know Stuartown?
You're not here to answer questions.
In one corner, look one little house that is one room. The house itself is just one box. And when we go back down the day, we look on it, it's a blue building now. And it's still one box. From 19 something until now is one box. It's still there. And within a couple of months, my mom and dad moved into Orocobessa, in a little street named Canopan. So if you know Orocobessa, you're supposed to know Canopan is the most popular street in Orocobessa, except the Orocobessa's main street.
So when you move from that house, you're moving like from rural into Kingston.
Something like that. Orocobessa is like a town, you know, it's like a city now, yes. Right?
They move a town.
But we never move into any bigger place, though. Mm-hmm. We never move into any bigger place. We just move into a bigger yard, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
the tenement yard that you always talk
tenement
about.
Yard, yes.
So how many houses were in that tenement yard?
There were 4 buildings in that yard, right? 2 were residential, and each of the residential buildings had 3 rooms, not bedrooms, 3 rooms, 3 boxes, right? So so in this box, the one me living in, I had my mom and dad and my sisters, the 3 sisters. That's 6 people, right? Then Miss Essie and Val next door had there were 7 of them in that room, and then two a husband and wife in the other, the 3-bedroom, a 3-room. That would be 7 and 6, 13 and 2, 15 in 3 rooms. And then back away now, the other building had 3 rooms. One family had 9. The laws had, if I count husband and wife, it's 9 of them. And then the behind them was Molly and Dianna and Maureen and Grandma, and that's 5, 9 and 5. Miss Chambers. No, Miss Chambers.
And him go to school.
Miss Barnes was another school, a private high school.
Okay.
Private college school, yes. just but a couple of footsteps away from Miss Chambers' basic school, right?
Let me ask you, what do teachers train teachers or then just get up and say them a teacher?
Miss Barnes was the only trained teacher in her private college school.
Okay, all right. Go
Everybody else were assistant teachers.
Okay.
Miss Chambers was not trained. She was just an employee of somebody of that school. But me only know she alone. Me don't know nobody else. All right. And so Miss Chambers was my basic school, and I still know a lot of my friends from basic school. Ashi, Stickman, all of these guys. I still keep in touch with them. Right. Don't talk as much, but I know where they are if I wanted them. Yeah. And then I left basic school and went to primary school. And it wasn't primary school, it was all-age school. And let me tell you something, that was a humongous change. Because I remember the morning going to primary school, my shop, with my mother iron it, and the seam at the front stiff. And it's a big punch. It's like a bell foot run the top of your knee.
Pictures.
And the shirt stiff, not stiff. I'm a sister. I hold me. Hey, listen. I still feel my mother's. I still feel my mother's, and all of it on my face. I wipe down on my face on my foot. Yeah? And so when I remember walking through Faith Lane, if you don't come from Rockaway, I don't know Faith Lane. I remember walking through Faith Lane, and the shoes that I had on was burning me. It's a black leather shoes. It a burned me up, and they say,
the first day of school, so how come it burning you?
And the first morning there, we never.
In a brokine yet.
Yeah. Man, that thing burned me. And I remember walking up to the school gate with my sister. She held me, my big sister, Sonia. She didn't like grade 7 or grade 8. You don't know. One of them big schools, because a big school, you call it.
Yes.
And I remember walking up to the gate, and she was holding my hand because Mr. Henlin, the principal for the all-age school, wicked man, I'm a good friend, Daddy, a wicked man. I want a long stick at the front and that. And so I said, come on, we could run now. And she run past him like 5 minutes before 9. If you go there at 9 o'clock, you get licked. You understand? And so I never want to get no lick. And so we run past, man. And I remember that morning, that fateful morning, she carried me up on the step and carried me in an A class, which is grade 1, A class.
Okay.
So it was great, 9 grades.
And you spent fabulous. Go ahead, Mish.
No, I was gonna ask if you did all 9 grades or.
No, I went from grade 1, from A class, which is grade 1, to B class, which is grade 2. Then grade 3, I went to Miss Hilton class, Miss Hilton. So Miss waiting grade. Okay, let me tell you. Grade 1 was Miss Skiles. Grade 2 was Mrs. Waite. Grade 3, Miss Hilton. Grade 4, Miss Gabby. We never got grade 5. We skipped grade 5 because it's a bit bright. When we got grade 6, we go to Miss Parker. Miss Parker, the woman who stood up on top of a chair and on top of desk to detail.
So that's at the same school, though?
Same school. Grade 7, 8, and 9 were, by the time I got to grade 6, I ended grade 6, they had gotten rid of the 7, 8, and 9, and we had transferred.
Oh, just start to primary school.
Secondary school, yes. It was a primary school, and then we went to secondary school. So I didn't get to do 7 and 8 and 9. But I can tell you that the people who went to 7, 8, and 9 prior were at the total disadvantage, because there were more kids who left grade 9 and had nothing to do at that
Oh,
time.
they couldn't go into the secondary
They
school.
couldn't go into the high school because we only had one high school, one legal high school in our secondary. And only probably about 8 or 7 kids from the grade 6 could pass and go to that high school.
Okay.
More than that.
So what you wanted to be when you were growing up?
You know, I was going to ask that question.
What I wanted to be,
Yeah.
okay, when I was about 10, 11, I had read some books from America, and they talk so much about mechanical engineer. You know, as a boy, I didn't want to just be a mechanic. I wanted to be a mechanical. I was right throughout school. I was a math pro because I wanted. They said in order for you to be a
yeah, sure, that's true.
Engineer at that time,
But a math pro,
you had to be a math pro.
Yeah, but man,
it's all engineering.
Yeah, so but you're sure you were?
Me? You can't even add 1 and 2 1 and 1 now. Jesus Christ. I can't even add 1 and 1 now. When I was in school, there was a competition.
But Leo, don't answer Michelle yet. Let us take some more comments and then we're going to ask everybody if they have any question they want us to ask Leo to put.
Okay, Canada in the house. Nancy Brown said, Leo, you are from humble beginnings that make you the person you are today. Maxine said, yes, pork or shrimps. Many of us don't eat those. Sandra Sterling said, Leo Knuckles, fellow countryman. Nikki said, good evening, my lovely friends. Nancy said, Leo, I wonder if you were a chatterbox at school. You are not
no.
to the question.
Oh my God.
We don't have the whole night. Yes, okay.
I am going to share. I want to share something with you guys.
No, answer the question. Were you a chatterbox at school?
No, yes, I'm going to share. I'm going to respond.
No, yes or no. It's a yes or no.
I am a very quiet person.
Okay. All right. Just say butter shoes.
Yes.
Just say butter shoes.
Yes, I use butter. Used to wear booger. And neither of you will know what a booger is.
No, a booger is a sneaker and it had the thing up at the top, like the kids wear it now.
What is that? Yeah, it's an uppers, it's brown, and it have a little round thing right at your ankle. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, Nana Benning said greetings. Michelle
greetings,
said,
Nana. Yeah.
Your mother was a lovely lady. God rest her soul.
Yes, she was.
Maxine said the bun shoes make you want to pee. It was part of the teacher training those days for teachers to stand on chairs to beat the kids.
Yes, Miss Parker. Lord
Leo Beverly says, Leo, you sure say it wasn't a rubber shoes from Butter called Mr.
Go about your business. We know leather shoes from rubber shoes. Go about your business. No matter buy me leather shoes. Feisty.
And it says, hello, Leo, my parishioner.
Sure. Who said that?
Annie Spence Morris.
Nice to meet you, Annie. Sharon says, hello from Italy. Nicola E says, "Uno freeze up."
Actually, no, look at she depend on the internet. Jamaica.
Yeah, I'm on Jamaica. Oh God.
Well, where have we gone now? We've gone through high school.
We're not going through high school yet. We're not reach high school yet.
Yeah, man. You know, say we want to be one.
Oh, okay.
Engineer.
Yes. Oh, by the way, I was a multi-talented athlete.
At school?
At school.
Which school?
And college too.
I
ran track, the 100 meter and 200 meter, and the 4x1. I was a long jumper. I was a discus thrower, a shot put thrower, and that made me champion boy in my last year. Yeah.
Look at that.
High school or primary?
What a face the woman. High school not talk about.
No. Tell us about your career path. You wanted to be an engineer. You clearly didn't pursue that, but tell us where you went.
So when I left high school, like when I was in grade 10th grade, the teacher who taught me in grade 2 was my math teacher, and she brought an application, came over and I said, remember now, I didn't pass my common entrance, and I didn't pass the technical school thing. And there's a story behind that.
You never got the exam, or you just failed them because your mother should have beat you.
Put it this way, we failed them, right?
Okay.
And so
bad.
and so when she knew my talent level, she brought the application over and said, fill this out. I want you to try to go to teachers college. And I fill it out because I failed the common entrance and failed the technical school exam. I decided that I wanted to go to Michael, but if I chose Michael, which is very competitive, I probably won't get in. So I chose Sam Sharp Teachers College, which I just started a few years ago. Right? It's a brand new study. I will have a better chance of going to Sam Sharp Teachers College. I still put Michael at number 3. So I got into Sam Sharp. The first time I got a chance to go to Sam Sharp, that was just the best thing. It was just the best thing. I was changing my life. I was moving from a Rockabessa that had almost no opportunity into Montego Bay that was, bright lights and opportunities,
Bursting.
When I said that, my picture, I would show, like when I left country and you come out of the country bus. Look around.
There's the opening scene in The Harder They Come.
Yeah.
And that boy, Valley Johnson,
that was me in Montego Bay. That was me. But nobody couldn't tell that though, because yes. And so when the reason I tell you that story is because that's the time. There are 2 things that was going on. I was thinking about leaving high school and having nothing to do, as being a number in a Rockabessa. That thought crossed my mind. I even forgot that I had applied for college because I had already left this school now. Because I remember I applied in grade 10, grade 11 come on pass, and I was in another high school in May before I got the invitation, to college.
So I never sent you an email to confirm that you had been.
Which email I talk about? Which email I talk about? And in fact, when I got that letter saying invitation, they did not send me anything. As invitation for orientation, the whole of Rockabessa no. Because me carried that letter right round to everybody. I said, yes, me I got college. I'm the only one give me one chance. And they put me on that campus, and me said me not leaving because me I got college. And so I ended up in college. And because I ended up in teachers college, I'd gone to do my GC O-levels. That didn't get me to college because I passed my O-levels, 4 of them. But that they didn't look at that to bring me to college, look at what I did when I was on orientation, according to Simon. And so my whole life changed. Because now I'm in the pathway for teaching, right? And then I went into the teaching, finished college, and got an opportunity to go to Central Connecticut State, where I could pursue one out of 2 things, either the mechanical engineer or I forgot the name. When you do the mathematics for insurance. I forgot what they call it. But those 2, one out of those 2. And my mom didn't sign the application for me to go to college. And
what happened? You didn't take it to her?
I took it to her, but she just wasn't in it at all, and
she never foresee. She wanted to keep.
Right. She didn't sign it. And that was a knock, just something that just knocked me down, no? And so I got a chance to
Don't cry.
Whatever happened to me in my life, I have absolutely no regrets. And remember, I tell you this, I have never regretted no part of my life. I don't even sorry. I don't feel sorry. I feel like everything that I have done in my life is who I am right now. Yeah. And me believe always from your group that I can compete with anybody anytime, anywhere, and be the better person, the better
As
person.
long as it's not a maths calculation, you're fine.
Yeah. But that is
Exactly.
good because I like hearing your story because it shows about like your disappointment with common entrance, whatever
Yeah.
the exam was.
Oh my
But
God.
like it was a new direction. Kind of like a lot of people feel like because they didn't accomplish what they wanted, they're a total failure and they give up. And
Yes.
maybe would have stayed in the community and not have gone further. But that
Absolutely.
is so telling, and you know, it's encouraging to see that you actually, you know, continued your journey, although a new direction.
Yes.
But continue, because now I want to hear about Montego Bay and if you want to
But Michelle, I just want to add too that the influence of community, because he got to college because this teacher was looking out for him.
Yeah,
Yes.
teachers.
And she understood clearly the need for further education.
Yes.
Leo's mom was a little bit reluctant to sign the papers, perhaps because she didn't fully understand
The
what
fear.
was ahead,
Right.
you know, and what he would need to get ahead
Yeah, man.
beyond.
Let me call her name. She's Mrs. Wade, Mrs. Tensie Wade. But she taught me in grade 2, grade 8, 9, 10, 11. She taught me general in grade 2, math in grade 8, grade 9, grade 10, and 11. She carried me all the way. And she don't even, I mean, I've sat with her already, so she knows this. She knows how I feel. Come and go back and go to her yard, go sit down with her husband and tell her, listen, and you make me, and you changed my life. And I could tell how she was feeling. She didn't cry or anything, but I could tell that she was feeling.
Yeah, teachers love that. Teachers love that. But we have a lot of comments coming in, so I want to read them before we continue on your journey. Maisie said he was the best at all the sports in which he participated because he was the only competitor.
Sharon Watson said, with Mike in him hand, me don't know how one of ladies go and control him, but no, come on.
we get him under control. Dr. Beverly Gordon said, good evening. You guys are tearing up as usual, I see. Sandra Sterling said, Leo said he was a runner and was shy. Now his mouth is trying to catch up to his legs, like Shaq. And those amazing women runners.
All right, let me correct this. I'm not shy. I'm not shy, but I am naturally quiet. I'd like to be by myself. I like to be if I'm in the general public, I just sit back and feel that. Unless you say put a mic in my hand or ask me to interview somebody, that's different. Okay.
Sandra Sterling said, yes, Leo, no regrets. You are where you are supposed to be. That is true.
Yes.
Nancy says, Leo, I agree. No regrets. You learn from your experiences, which helps to shape your path. And Spencer Morris said, which high school? I missed that.
Oh, no, didn't go to a high school, a traditional high school. I didn't pass common entrance. I went to second. When I went to that school, it was called Orokobesa Junior Secondary School, in OJSS, Orokobesa Junior Secondary School. And then it changed while somewhere along the line.
That are your high school.
That's well, yes, it wasn't a high school. It was never a high school in Nagode. It was a junior secondary school, which implies that it's grade 7, 8, and 9. By the time I got to 9th grade, they had changed, they've added grade 10. And when I got to grade 10, they added grade 11. So I was lucky all the way.
Okay, so what's the name now?
Orokobesa High School.
Exactly.
So it has taken transformation.
It was in.
So yeah, foundation, man.
Yes. I was one of the first to go there at grade 7. Yes.
That's major. And Lorna says,
sorry, but let me give you a story. When I took the common entrance, I really thought that I passed because it was so easy. You know, I mean, not easy.
That's not a problem.
It created enough challenge to give me the feeling that I had passed it with flying colors. So I expected my name to be in the paper.
Be on the list.
You know?
That's what my mama always say. Anytime you come out of exam and say, it's too easy, man.
No. I was never a. When I left grade 4, I went straight to grade 6. They know my
I'm not
talent.
saying dumb. It's
And
just
so,
saying, you maybe I
yeah.
didn't focus because I think you were kind of too easy to say misfeel
No,
things.
not at all, not at all. I don't never take anything for
You're probably
granted.
just
But when
not a good person at taking exams.
when I left grade 6, I went to grade 7, and there were 43 of us in the class. That not leave my mind because I know there were 43, and because I had failed that common entrance exam, I play out the whole of grade 7. I mean, ramp. I got class enough, but me ramp out the whole thing.
Oh, you
And
gave
at the
up.
end of the year, become 42 out of 43.
Your mother not beat you?
What? My mother never know. You mad?
Oh,
How you mean your mother never know, Leo?
I don't know that my mom was ever
So
involved
where's
in
the
my
report?
school that way.
okay. Lorna
Yeah.
says, in our time, although we were bright, only 2 children from my school would pass common entrance.
Huh?
High
That's what I
schools
did.
were limited then. Even
Yes.
in the 80s, my sister did not pass common entrance. She did not go to a traditional high school. She ended up getting her PhD at NCU.
The reason I said I didn't want to get into it is because I didn't want to get into that story. Because in my class, there were 2 grade 6. There was a 2 grade 6 being prepared, and there was less than 70 kids in grade 6. Only 6 or 7 kids could pass from there to go to that high school.
Wow.
So whether or not, so let me give you a story. If your mother a police, if your father a police, and your mother a nurse, and your mother a teacher and stuff, you have a 70 or 80% chance of going to high school. Okay? If your mother not involved in a community and laugh up and chat up and they don't have the money and stuff, you have a 20% chance of going to high school. That's the way it was. You understand?
That is changed.
Yeah.
And Spencer said the equivalent to high school. I guess when you're talking about your high school.
Right.
Diana said, good evening, folks. I'm late, but
Not hearing you. Not hearing you.
Okay. Diana, are you hearing me now?
Yes.
Diana says, good evening, folks. I'm late, but made it. Baby was acting up. Bedtime. He want no part of his dad. I have to rock him to sleep. Sandra Sterling said, Leo, you were meant to go to a Seventh-day Adventist school. You know, if you eat pork and shrimp.
Hey, go and follow Michelle. Go and follow Michelle.
Ed Wallace says, yes, it was a secondary school. The secondary schools were changed back in the 1988 to high schools. Yeah, I remember that.
Okay.
A few from our region was, and some of the all-age schools in Trelawney, I think, were turned to junior high. Instead of
okay.
they changed the all-age back to primary.
So can you imagine at age 14 or 15, you are leaving school at grade 9 in Arcobessa and have nowhere to go. There's no other school
That
to go
was sad.
to. Huh?
They just go work on the farm or something.
Yeah, you go turn farmer or go work on banana wharf or banana boat or something like that. Go fishing.
How you go foreign? How did you reach the foreign?
Yeah.
How we got foreign? One girl.
Okay.
Oh, you meet her up on the beach.
Meet her.
Of Montego Bay.
Montego Bay.
Oh.
All right. Now tell us then, Leo, you left Jamaica as an educator. You shared before that when you came to the US, you had to do multiple jobs. You want to tell us?
Oh God.
All right. Like perhaps in the first year.
Thank you for that. Before I left Jamaica, I remember I was working at Life of Jamaica. Anybody remember Life of Jamaica? Life of Jamaica was the top insurance company in Jamaica back in the 80s, 70s, and so forth, right?
Did you know somebody named Mr. Dale?
In Montego Bay?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so. But and I remember there was a guy by the name of Curtis who said to me when I decided to leave and come to America, he said, "Are you sure you want to go to America?" I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "When you go to America, you go to second class citizen." Mr. Bridget, I don't understand what that means, but me see America as an opportunity, me I go, and I left him there, and so I went to New York. I had the hardest time, trust me, cold. The day when I walked off of that plane, there was from the gangway, what they call it, the thing where they come out to the plane, the walkway area. There was a little breezeway between that part and the plane. They never used to grab the plane. You have to step on, Man, a piece of coal lick me. It feels like a piece of iron lick me in my face. I've never felt anything like that in my life.
So tell us what were you wearing when you arrived?
Man, I was wearing just a long sleeve shirt and a New York nago. The fool.
And then tell you.
Nobody ever prepare me. Anyway, I mean, New York was tough, but when I left, I got a chance to leave New York in the cold, and I went to California for a weekend and didn't come back. Because when I went to California, the sun was hot like a Jamaica. And we were in the middle of January. And I was like, how the hell New York so cold and California so hot? I called my mother and said, Mama, send the clothes down. I'm never go back to New York. But that proved to be really tough also. It was a really hard decision. I found myself on the floor of the Salvation Army, right? I didn't have anywhere to go.
You were homeless at one point?
I was homeless as hell for 2 weeks. I was homeless. I went and slept on the floor of the Salvation Army. The only reason why I got that was because I played volleyball and played well. And the day when I became homeless, I walked into the Salvation Army and saw them playing volleyball inside the gym. I went in there and smashed two smash, lick two lick, and when I was walking out, I was helping the man lock up. He said, "Where you going?" We say, "Me not know where to go." He say, "All right, you can stay here." And I stayed there on the floor for 2 weeks. I slept. There was a chair and whatever. Good thing they had bathroom.
Nobody can bad mind people. Sorry to cut you off. They don't know what people go through.
That's thank you so much for sharing that, because I don't know that a lot of people would share that. Yeah. And I want for people to be able to take away that despite the struggle, like Michelle said, despite the struggle, and people not begrudge people for them reach for it.
As we say, I don't have no regrets. I have no regrets.
Just need to get tissue paper, for dry.
It's so sad. But you're right, people.
I had at one point, I remember my, I had 3 jobs. 2 of them were security jobs.
Right? Let me ask you something about the security job. For you mentioned it, you
didn't know one of the security jobs.
Security guard them who now let you in, now lock door.
No. Before I sleep. It's not what I wanted to do. Before I sleep on the work most time. So here's one of the jobs. I was working at an ARCO, that's Atlantic Richmond Oil Plant, as a security guard, right? So I have total disrespect for companies who own security companies. The guy said, when I went in and applied, he says, you can't get a gun, you just get a car and drive me out. And I worked at this place for about 3 months. He drove me out, and there was another guy behind us in another car, and he took me to this place into Atlantic, it's Arco. And he said, he showed me a wall. The wall must have been about 20 feet high, Michelle, Dianna, right? About 20 feet high. And he parked the car right in front of the wall, and he said, your job here is to watch that wall for the rest of the night. And every night for 3 months, I watched that wall, because he said, sometimes people come over the wall.
Oh.
But I lie my tell, them just wanted somebody on the field just to get paid. You understand? And so every hour I had to, there's a little round thing that I supposed to twist it, and then lock it and record it my time that I was at that location. So I go and press a button, wind it up, and then move on and go back into the car and sit down. I sleep most of the time. And the other security job I had, I was in one of them rich neighborhood. I remember what them call it in California, close to the ocean. And I was at the guard gate, but I was working there from midnight until 7 or 7:30 in the morning. And so that's sleeping time because nobody now coming in the gate. Then everybody got out of bed, right? And so I worked there for about 3 weeks. And every night I'd fall asleep by 3 o'clock. By 3 o'clock, I fall asleep. And then we wake up by 5:30 or 6 o'clock. And one morning I feel somebody had took me. And he said,
that was the end of your work.
Oh, he said, don't come back. But between those jobs, I had one like from 12 to 7, and I had a customer service job for 4 hours from 9 to 1, and then another security job now for what they call it, the 3 to 11 thing. I remember what they call it, the shift. All right. Anyway.
I know, Leo, that you said that you don't have any regrets, but at any point in time, you had to be running all of those multiple jobs. Did you just from me say, boy, my yard?
I don't understand it. I don't understand.
Break up a little, Dr. Dan.
Then I have to ask the question again.
Well, I guess I'm the one who is freezing now.
Oh, you're freezing.
Yeah, I was asking Leo that when you had to do those multiple jobs, did you at any point say to yourself, boy, may I go back to Jamaica?
A whole heap of time. Oh, Lord have mercy. Listen, the security guard job want to pay me $2.25 an hour. They want to pay me $3.27 an hour. And the customer service job was paying me $4 something an hour. Listen, I couldn't even pay my rent. For about 2.5 years, I lived on beans. Pinto beans. I bought 50-pound packs of them, and as long as we have salt and black pepper in my house, I boil that and cook it for my lunch and dinner every day. Nobody for buy rice. That's how bad it was. You understand that? I see things. My telephone, the telephone that I call my telephone was a public phone that was right next to the building that I lived. And so if I wanted a job, I would remember now. If I wanted a job, they had to call me. It's what they call it, temporary agency. They had to call me, and I couldn't afford a phone in my house, in my apartment, and so the rent was true enough. And I'll tell you a story about the rent. I had to go to that telephone booth every morning from 7 until 9 o'clock for the temporary agency to call me at that number. After 9 o'clock, they're not calling again.
Public phone.
It's a public phone, but nobody could use it because of my office that's my telephone. So there were like 2 others there, and me just lock it down. Me lock down my phone because that's where they go and call me every morning for 5 days a week, and that's the only time I could get a job. And so, I remember also. I wanted to get back to this. The first time I got into that apartment, I was leaving. I got that job as a paper cutter to cut boxes in a warehouse, and I got paid like $100 a week, and so what happened was I couldn't afford an apartment. I couldn't afford the down payment and the first month's rent. And so what I had to do, I walked around until I saw a place that seemed like I could afford it, and I walked up to this guy, and I knocked on the door. He's the manager for the apartment building. And then he opened the door and he spoke with an accent, a black man with an accent. And I said, what? You sound like Jamaican. But he didn't have a Jamaican accent. What he continued talking, he was from Panama. But we had a great relationship right off the bat. And I told him that I need a place to rent, right? But I don't have all of the money one time. He said, what you want to do? What you want to do? We say, I can bring you $100 a week for the next 3 or 4 weeks. And then that will be my down payment. And then a month later, then I can give you the rent, right? I gave him $100 every week for 3 weeks. And he said, there's $50 more left to get, right? And when the 3 weeks was done, he says, listen, I am not keeping your money no more, right? He says, I will accept this as the first month's rent, but you have to take this money from me. You bring me up, give this man cash for 3 weeks and him keep it for me because I didn't have a bank account. I didn't have anywhere for safe to keep the money. And so I gave him the money down payment, 3 weeks, and then he said, go find the $50 and come, and I will use that $300 as the first month's rent, and then you can pay a deposit afterwards. That's how I got into that apartment.
Whoa.
All right. So how you keep motivated while you were talking about all this and maybe wanting to go back to Jamaica? Because it seemed really rough. So, because a lot of people came here and go through similar stories, you know?
How I keep motivated?
Yeah, like...
I don't know. I once I have a journey, if you know me right now, once I have a journey, I feel that I have to prevail. That's how I am. I just believe that anything when we start it because we want to do it, I'm going to get it done. That's it.
Okay, that's good. I have some more comments. So perseverance, you know, once you have ambition and perseverance, you reach far. So that's the lesson. Diana says, okay, Beverly Gordon said secondary school is British. She also said high school is American. Mavis McPherson said it's not Sagicor. I guess.
Yes. Yes.
Diana says, Leo, you sound like one of my dad's sisters. She came to Canada in September. Remember, it was a gorgeous day, and she was saying how cold she was. I was early teens and hid and laughed, thinking she's sick in the head because it is not cold. She returned to Jamaica less than 3 weeks.
Oh, God.
I just said, humble beginnings lead to extraordinary endings, just as long as you don't give up. Lorna said, Leo, your girl should let you know to wear a sweater. Most of us who came here in the 80s go through hell. The jobs that we look down on at home. Yes. Jamaicans tough. Through all that, we work and go back to school.
Absolutely.
Karen Wallace says, Leo, these are situations that you and myself and other people find themselves in just for trying to make a better life. Mm-hmm. But through struggles and hustle, you survive. I am a survivor also. Your stories just brought back memories, but today I smile. Lorna says, Leo, I am crying right now for you. I didn't have it that hard. Most of the women did. Childcare and got to live in. Sandra says, Leo, you are the epitome of perseverance, persistence, and strength. Hats off to you. Maisie said, I love his story. A little more difficult than mine. Carlene said, thanks for sharing your story, Leo. Perseverance is the key to success. See? And you look how your name want to do it.
If we run him off, I wish you know.
To be honest, I did not expect all of this. You dropped little hints of all you've been doing. So I was curious. And I'm sure people, but it's a good story. And I hope you write a book.
It's coming out soon. It's coming out soon.
Yeah, your story can motivate others because sometimes people back home think it's a better roses here. I don't understand the real struggles people go through, especially when they're sending money home to Jamaica to build homes or to take care of them. They don't understand the hardship. Yeah. So thank you. Yes. One person says, Beverly says, resilience. Cassie said, Leo, great to hear your story. Mine was not the same or as challenging. I dropped out of high school in Jamaica, but I am now an attorney and a former judge.
Oh, I love that. Thank you. Listen, I just got accepted into what you call it again?
PhD program.
PhD program, yes. So
he'll be doctor soon.
Yes.
Congrats, Leo. Congrats on that. So Leo, tell us now how you got into this love for music. I know lots of us online listen to your shows on, your music playing and so. How did you get up on it accidentally?
Yeah, well, yes. Jamaicans and music. If you're a Jamaican man, most time we can speak on that. You are drawn to music, but the way we call it tenement yard, it's sat right. The fence separated my bedroom window, my mom's bedroom window, from the dance hall. If anybody ever hear about Arrows Bambulan, where Uri set on his play. I grew up there at Miss Gloria's Bambulan, and music every weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, there's a sound system playing. And sometimes I surprise myself because I'm on a Sunday, I play a lot of oldies, soul and thing from the 40s and 50s. And I wonder where did I hear these? And because I can sing them word for word most times. And it's probably because of that. There's
one day you couldn't pass your common entrance.
Huh?
One day you couldn't pass your busy sing song.
So it started there. There's a gentleman in the yard also had a sound system there last week. He would play every Sunday.
He's the one that died other day?
No, I'm going to talk to you about him now. There's another guy now named Prince Puller who just died a couple of weeks ago. And he is the one who taught me about selecting music, understanding how music match and how music work with each other. Or one song that plays after another song, they have to match, they have to work in sync for the music to feel good. And he taught me that. And so, from one person to the other, it was easy for me to become, because he taught me how to select music, camera dance. Music got dance, I rock myself. And we
no wonder you didn't pass the exam.
Exactly. Listen, travel upon the back of the truck, just like everybody else with a big old box, them and go lift our box and all anything there. Yes, I did all of that in the 16, 17, 18. And still, that's where I think all of that came from. The love came from there.
Yes.
Dad, can we stop now, please? Can we go?
No, Leo, this is just so encouraging. And like Michelle said, we really thank you for sharing.
Sharon says it's not where you start, but where you finish.
Yeah, we will always say that.
All right.
Yeah. Lorna says, I don't have bad mind for anyone. Thank God for perseverance. And Jude said, Leo, this is an awesome story. Glad overcame these challenges. We Jamaicans are quite resilient. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's 1-0. It's 1-0. So,
Yes. Yeah. So Michelle is going to thank him for sharing and then we can move into the next half hour of COVID.
Yeah, get back to reality. Thank you for that. And it is a segue. As he said, Jamaicans are resilient. We are going through a rough patch right now. And this is a segue of how we will persevere through this pandemic.
It's really rough.
Yeah, that's what we're going to focus on right now.
It's really rough. Jamaica is having a hard time. And I was telling Dianna today, right, that we were complaining a month, 2 months ago, a year ago, how Jamaica this is not a good comparison. Please understand this. But I really wanted to understand the where this is. Okay, we were complaining how murder rate is 1,300 people for the year, right? And it's like if you count per day, it's about four deaths per day. COVID is killing off 15 to 20 persons a day in Jamaica. This is just COVID alone. This is on top of what we are accustomed to having in Jamaica, the deaths that are in Jamaica. Mm-hmm. And the comparison right now, we are at 1,400 plus Jamaicans who have died of COVID alone. Understand the implications of that. It is really a scary thing. We have not seen this any point in our lifetime. Our long time I live for a long time, like in our 30s or 40s.
And we have not gone 1 million vaccinations yet.
We not even
We haven't
500,000
million
yet.
vaccinations yet.
Yeah.
So it is
Yeah,
scary.
it
The
is scary.
The positivity rate,
48.
yes, and counting, because yesterday it was, day before it was 43, and so
Yeah.
now it's at 47 point
What that means, it's that roll it up to 50%. Every next person in a Jamaica, the propensity is that every next person in Jamaica have COVID. That's what it means.
Yeah, pretend
Yeah,
everybody
that's
have
scary.
COVID.
Everybody have COVID.
That is really
Pretend
scary, because
everybody have
no,
COVID.
it means that you're exposing the older people at far more alarming rates. The younger people, it is scary. If every other person, as you said, Leo, could potentially be a COVID carrier,
Exactly.
what does that mean? It's almost like you're sounding like India, because then, and I mean, I'm not no medical practitioner, but are we to be alarmed or concerned that something might be developing, or are we hoping that everybody gets it and then we're all right?
No, so here is the scary part, right? Because we knew, or we presumed that the COVID Delta variant was in Jamaica from a few months ago, right? The scary part of this is that the variant is so contagious that it could just blow through Jamaica easily. Very, very easily.
When you say blow through, Leo, you mean literally and figuratively,
Me
right?
talk about like Gilbert.
But
Yeah.
it is going through. But it is going through Jamaica.
It can blow through Jamaica very easily. And
It can. It is. It is. No, but it is right now. That's why the death rate is so high. Infection rate. And a lot of people are actually not going in, because if you read a few of the cases that were mentioned, most of them were sick, but they assume it was the flu or something else before they go in for treatment. So how many people actually going around say they have allergies and just, oh, it's just a cold, and not getting checked and spreading the virus? And that close setting, because you see in most instances too, the children go out and bring it home to their parents.
Yes.
And the parents are
From the
dying.
dream weekend.
Yeah.
That it seemed to have spread. Particularly, there's a story that I found really alarming, and really make me cry. And it was a story of the Bacchus, or that I think that's the name of the family who have the gas station. And somebody went out, and then the mom got it and the dad gets it, and a real situation where people die because of it. But I want to share an article which was
before I share the article, the situation that they took me this morning was the
pregnant lady.
The pregnant lady, not even that just in America, but the pregnant lady who went to Jamaica, and the husband could not airlift her back to the United States because he didn't have any insurance to airlift her. And she went to a B class or C class hospital in Hanover. And by the time they moved her to Conroe region, I'm not so sure she died. So she died, her baby died too.
Yeah, but the thing is that in her situation, it's kind of different, because when they first found out about her and told her to get treatment, she refused. She refused. Yeah, it's alleged. They put her in isolation. She refused. They found in with her when she passed out. And then at that point, she got the
lady who was at hedonism or something.
I'm not sure where she was, but she was at a hotel. But she tested negative going into Jamaica. That's why I don't trust that test. Because other people have said they have tested negative when they're actually positive. So she
could have gotten it to Jamaica. She could have gotten it to Jamaica.
She could take it anytime between those 2 days. Because remember, you only need to test 2 days before. Yes, they can actually have COVID before. So they need, I don't know.
We need to lockdown.
Get the article.
We need a full lockdown. From COVID just reached, and we had said it here. Lockdown, give everybody X amount of money for go get groceries and thing, and everybody lockdown for 2 weeks, and nobody move, nobody come in, nobody go. But I
never like this a lockdown principle at all. Lockdown for couple days.
I never like a suggestion. Couple weeks. I think couple weeks.
Yes.
2 straight weeks and be done.
Exactly. Go ahead.
Just sacrifice. Yeah, read the article.
Yeah, so Michael Abrams had an article in today's paper that I really find it really touching, and it covers everything. It says lethal governmental arrogance. And it says, we are a painfully undisciplined lot. 1 year ago, on August 24, 2020, I wrote a column titled COVID-19 is a test of our discipline, and we failed. That has not changed. We are now experiencing our third COVID-19 wave, and our indiscipline has undoubtedly contributed to this, and we must take much of the responsibility. He says, however, our government is not blameless. As a matter of fact, the leadership of this country has made decisions that have placed us directly in harm's way. The decision to simultaneously significantly relax curfew hours, allow larger gatherings, and grant permission for large parties, including the infamous Dream Weekend, was not in our best interest. And this is not just a matter of opinion, there is data to support this. I think that Dr. Abrams certainly speaks for the
general public all the way. And because from me here said Dream Weekend, I go keep. Me to America, and me know say that wrong. I mean, we talked about that on the show. Why do I keep Dream Weekend? That don't make any sense.
And this was soon after the Mocha Weekend and all the uproar and issues with Mocha.
The cow people got jail for Mocha Weekend. But you have open up Dream Weekend, that's killing off people right now in Jamaica.
Yes.
20 a day.
It's
And
unfortunate.
I don't, it's kind of rough. And the reason why I say it's rough is this. The government have to take responsibility of their action. And too many people are defending the action of the government. And it kind of sad because people are directly impacted. Because even from my community, every day I see RIP, and it is from somebody who actually went to Dream and infected somebody. And then, so it's spreading. And then like majority of my family is in that small setting. So it's like, but if you're the government, like Mr. Mackenzie said, like what was his statement?
No
apology.
No apology. No regret.
So you go look at these families that are dying and say, I have no apologies. That is heartless. Like, how can you utter those words? Especially seeing what's happening. Because the numbers have not gone below 1 or 0 since the statement or before the statement. We're seeing double digits and it's getting higher. And we know more people are actually infected, but few people are going to get tested. Because when you look at the number, now they're posting how many go to private facilities to get tested. People can't afford it. So when they're sick, you know what they're going to say? Oh, drink some bush, may have cold, or smell eucalyptus oil, and I'll be better. And then before you know it, the exhausted healthcare system is further exhausted. But so at this moment, he shouldn't have said,
no apologies. Yes. Yeah, that was irresponsible. I mean,
and Dr. Abrams speaks about it in his article. He says, today, as I write this, we are in lockdown. Positive cases, hospitalizations, and deaths are spiraling upwards, and our health sector and its workers are overwhelmed. On the day of the relaxation of the measures were announced, 119 people were hospitalized, with 5 in critical conditions. On August 22nd, 573 people were hospitalized, with 56 critical. And he continues, but our leadership still insists they did nothing wrong. Desmond Mackenzie said the government is not sorry because we did nothing wrong. We listened and we took decisions based on consultations. But who did they consult? If I were a gambling man, I would bet an entire year's salary that they did not get instructions from the Ministry of Health and Wellness, because none of my colleagues here who I spoke with, and I communicated with several, agreed with the move. Perplexing.
Diana, let me say this. Last year, in March, when we identified that we had 1 or 2 or 3 persons with COVID, right? We locked down for a month at a time, right? We locked down for extended period, take me out of school, right? All right. This year, August, we have a variant that 10 times more dangerous than the virus. We have 500, 600, 800 people contracting this on a day-to-day basis. 15, 17, 20 deaths a day. And we're locking down for 3 days at a time. What the hell is that? 3 days in 3
Well,
days.
like Dr. Abrams says that clearly they had no consultation with the people who mattered. And if they consulted with the health workers, they clearly have not taken that recommended action.
We don't
So I
have
really
no
don't
part to
understand.
play with these
I don't
decisions.
know.
These decisions
People,
don't
let me
even-
tell you,
Yeah.
Leo, I understand, but it goes back to what Michelle always say. Michelle always say, look here, COVID keeping. We need to look out for ourselves.
Take yourself.
We need to take care of ourselves. We need to keep our distance. We need to wear our masks. We need to be sanitizing. And if we don't have to go somewhere, don't go. People have to go stand at the yard.
Exactly, Canada yard.
But they're not going to stay at the yard unless the government tell them to stay.
No, but the thing is this.
This is the whole thing, you know. If the government don't say stay at the yard, people not going to stay at their house. They are going to be out there
No, it's not them, because it obvious the government now make this decision with their
Best
about
interest.
them, their interests at heart. They don't care because we don't know who they consult with. And the guy from Dream Weekend, who in consult with.
Well, like the Dr. Abrams said, he spoke to a number of his colleagues and none of them recommended it.
Yeah,
None of
and
them
also
done it.
other entertainers were saying nobody contacted them who were promoters to have a discussion because they were saying to gradually open. So who are these people? Because they're responsible too. They're responsible too for what's
I don't know
happening.
which scientists they contacted. I don't think they
Because
contacted
Ministry of Health said they advised against it.
against it.
The lady said she advised against it. So why they don't listen to the experts?
Okay, so what do you think has propelled this? What do you think caused the Prime Minister and whomever made the call to continue with Dream Weekend? What caused them to want to do this?
Youthful exuberance.
I guess they put
Exuberance?
too much power in a Mackenzie hand, were very cocky, I don't know what's going on.
No, but
Because-
it's not that because
But
him
he
alone
can
can't make a
override it. He can
decision.
override it. He can override it.
Him alone can't make such a decision.
but
It's
it-
a collective responsibility.
It is, but it seemed like he put a lot of confidence in this man. Because even with the storm that we had last week in
Grace.
Jamaica,
Yes.
what he said, it creep up on him. The
But
advice going on.
but still, the responsibility
This man
is
is
still
incompetent.
the Prime Minister's.
It
Yes,
is
but I like that.
ultimately.
Tell me what you say,
It
Mackenzie.
is
Say again. Say
ultimately
creep up, Grace creep up on him.
Ultimately, it is the Prime Minister's responsibility, but he
Absolutely.
has designated duties to particular people. He
Yes.
can oversee everything. So if that guy goes to him and said, "This is what we came up with, and this is what we consulted, who we consulted, this is the response."
So,
Of course,
so
he
you
wants to
think
give us
you're saying that you think the Prime Minister said it was okay for Desmond McKenzie to say that government has no apologies.
I don't think he told
No,
Desmond
to
to
take
say
the
that.
action.
The action. Desmond is a loose cannon that he needs to control. But
But the Prime Minister
He
should have
gave them, like,
apologized to the people.
he
though.
should have said something. He should jump ahead of
Yes.
it and say, because even when he said they foresaw what was going to happen and they were prepared, I'm like, how could he say that when the hospitals were overflowing?
Question.
So,
You
so somebody misadvised him.
know what
And
I
he
noticed?
needs to rip
I know
their
there's a
head
trend here.
apart.
I know there's a trend here. Because how is Michael Abrams, Dr. Michael Abrams, able to speak so loosely about government in his editorial?
That's not loosely. He's talking
You're not
facts.
speaking loosely.
Yes, he
That
is.
is
Yes, he is. But listen. Generally speaking, even facts are shut down. You don't get shut down.
No,
Why
because
not
he
get
don't
shut
have
down?
nothing to lose. More than likely, he have.
Why not get
He
shut
don't say
down?
he have nothing to
But you
lose.
can't lock down the big doctor, man. What's wrong with you?
Because they lock him down, people go jump up for him. But you know what they go start say, which I see they start doing to that Dr. What's her name? Duncan's daughter. She's a doctor. Kia, whatever. She always
yes.
goes to whistle on what's happening.
Duncan Price.
No,
Yes.
not her.
Not her. Kia, I
Yes.
forgot her name. But she was the one that always spoke out about what's
Imani.
happening.
Imani.
And it always come to light what happened. No, not Imani.
This one is
But
a
the
medical
younger one,
practitioner.
she's a doctor.
Okay.
But she always, and she stated the other day that Bustamante is full, KPH, the morgue is full, and then they start attacking her.
Yeah,
saying
so
that
they
she
said there's no
crazy.
such thing.
Yeah, she crazy and she lying. But they've done it to her in the past. And then a few months, few weeks later, we see that exactly what she said happened.
Who is
So
she?
that's what they'll try to do. DK Duncan's daughter.
That's Imani Duncan, right? Or the other one?
No. There's
No,
a
no,
medical practitioner.
Oh,
Her
I
daughter,
see.
another sister.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you this, that I am very concerned, I must tell you, I am very concerned about our country. And I'm going to put this on notice right now. Why I am concerned about our country is that I would not want to see another variant develop in Jamaica. So I am not a doctor. I am not a scientist. But I know that variants can develop, they can mutate, and if that happens in a Jamaica, and it becomes more dangerous than the Delta, right? Nobody not gonna know. Because we're not going to take part.
My thing is that people just need to take responsibility. We understand what the government is doing, their limitation, whatever they're doing, but people do have to take responsibility and understand themselves. Everybody potentially have COVID. So protect yourself. Go get the vaccine. All right, if you don't feel like get the vaccine.
But everybody can't get the vaccine still, you know, Miss.
Yeah, whatever is available, because now they're trying. I see a lot of people going out today to get it.
Yes, but they only have X number of vaccines. You only have X number of vaccines. You don't have a million and Jamaica.
I think the world is getting around.
So we work with what we can work
everybody
with.
get up tomorrow and say, all right, give me a vaccine.
I think the world is getting around. I think the world is getting around.
But we know it's not available. So we know their capabilities are what is available. So protect yourself. Do other things to protect yourself. Sanitize, wear your mask, social distance, ventilated areas. You know, he should also do something.
I mean, me not like the idea that a whole lot of people are dead and then they're off dead. Not like that at all.
Well, we can't really question God still, but I understand what I say.
I think as an educator, it's alarming for me because we're really at the end of the school summer break. And school is slated to restart in another week or so.
The first.
Yes.
There hasn't been any announcement yet, and we have 1 week to go. And
right.
So announcement
it's really alarming because we've lost so much in terms of learning. We've lost so much in terms of instructions to students. And I shudder because I know that the internet network is still shoddy.
All right. Doc, you're in education, so you answer the question now. Right? I'm going to ask a series of questions. One, the last 6 days ago, there was an announcement that school is going to open on the 1st.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday, we had 879 new cases of variant, Delta variant, new cases, and 17 deaths. Right? All right. Now, should it be at this point in time, we make an announcement that we don't want any face-to-face, or there shouldn't be any face-to-face for the next month and a half or so? One. And if we don't go back to school face-to-face on September 1, if they make an announcement that we're not going to go back to school for a month, what is going to happen? Are we prepared to go dual modality, one single modality? What do we do?
I believe that we will have an announcement from the ministry before the week is out.
Okay.
Pushing the dates.
Is that a fact, or is it your thought?
It is my grandest expectation that any reasonable organization or country will
Okay.
make such an announcement in light of the significant uptick in the number of cases
Yes.
and the fact that the majority of our population is still not yet vaccinated.
All right.
Against that background and with that perspective, I expect that there will be such an announcement.
All
I
right.
expect also that there will be all virtual instructions at the start of the term because
If the announcement is made, if the announcement is made.
Yeah, you hear me say announcement affirmate.
I make a suggestion.
Leo, announcement affirmate before
Okay.
Friday. I mean Sunday night announcement affirmate.
All
And I expect that it is going to be virtual instruction because teachers don't want to go out, parents don't want to send out their children to expose them. And I know there's no internet. I know there's going to be a challenge in a lot of areas, but there must be some way.
The announcement is going to be made. All right, Dianna, prediction.
I'm not a teacher, but I think
Yes.
in some areas they
Yes.
can face to face. For like students who are local that don't
Yes.
travel public transportation,
Okay,
but locally, go because they'll have more space in the classroom so they could safely,
Hold on. Are you supposing that
Michelle, but
Michelle,
how you have to stop people
in this kind of variant,
and all of that?
in this kind of Delta variant, you are supposing that they are going to put kids in classroom?
No, did you hear what I said? I think you didn't listen.
Says that for those people who are local. So she creating a bubble. So let us say people who board like at her school, they could, as long as you're boarding, they can have face-to-face classes because they're in this space, a sanitized space.
Exactly.
Together. So they can survive.
Even like low country school, like you have Wakefield Primary in the Cane Piece. Children don't really leave the community. Those children and then safely, social distance, set up everything. They wear their masks. Staff wear their masks, parents don't go onto the campus, more than likely drop them at the gate. So you can do stuff to allow those children, especially in rural areas.
They have no internet.
Exactly, to go to school so they can have that setting and it help them too.
You have any data to back up the decision, please?
What?
Data about the kids who have or don't have, the parents who have or don't have COVID.
Well, no, but what she's
But you can also look at the numbers though,
because she's saying
infection rate.
Create a bubble.
Yeah, you could look at the infection rate for
But
those areas.
Home right now. They're home right now. You're gonna create a bubble by taking people from out of their homes right now to put them together in a bubble. What's gonna happen?
Yeah, you not get my point.
But each of them is sanitized. Each of them technically sanitized.
So you test kids before they get into this bubble.
Yes.
Yeah,
so let's just say even the boarding schools, those people can and
get tested.
pick them up.
But as long as like if they're not taking public transportation, they're not going outside of the community, and it's safe to social distance them, they wear their mask and they follow protocols.
That requires some serious planning.
Yeah, but they could have done that, look at especially at rural schools.
But have they been doing that, Doc? That's what I'm asking.
No, we haven't seen it, which is why I expect for it to be pushed back and look at say it have a pushback because whatever is the plan that the ministry would have had up to last week, clearly by now they must see that the indicators are trending up and the health of professionals are saying it is getting worse. So now they have to revisit the plan and it will have to be different. It can't be business as usual.
Yeah, we have a lot of comments coming.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Nikki says people are now waking up to COVID from Dream Weekend. The dream ended. Leo, Dianna, Michelle, these folks that are dying from COVID in Jamaica, do they have underlying condition? Wondering what is their age group? Are they older folks? Well, they vary because they publish.
I looked at yesterday's numbers for the different parishes. By the way, St. Mary is only 13 cases. Okay, everybody else have like 70 and 100 and so.
40.
But there were ages from about 40 up.
48, yeah.
Yeah, upwards, yeah.
Lorna says some people in Jamaica diagnosed with flu and sinusitis. Then 2 weeks after they die. Now we hear it was COVID. The country must shut down for 21 days. They need to get a certain amount of food before lockdown. We have to do
Who said that?
something.
May I agree with that? Who said that?
Lorna,
Yeah,
I
we were
love it.
saying 14
We
days,
all-
but Lana said
yeah.
21.
we all going to have friend, family member, or ourselves going to drop out from COVID, which
Yes.
is sad. Diana said, Lorna, my dad told me reading a Jamaican newspaper, some folks are saying they would love to adhere to the rules in Jamaica, but they do not have permanent job. So go out every day to hustler
Yes,
living
yes,
for
yes.
their kids.
Yes.
Give the
They know
people a
it's COVID,
stipend to
but
support
say
them.
if they remain
Yes.
home, they will starve. I think some type of money allowance should be given to folks like these. What do you think? My dad told me to ask this, Leo, Michelle, and Dan. I do think so, and they can afford to do it. That Parliament building that they were going to build, they could reshuffle that money at this point. We're going through a pandemic. So they can do it.
Hold on. I just got a report here. The story of the Bacchus family is not true. The parents died of COVID though. The son that was mentioned on the of FB does not even live in Jamaica.
Or he doesn't?
Mercy.
Okay. But they said they're next to, anyway, they said the article said they live right in the
They operate the gas
of the stream.
stations.
So the two people from the two gas stations in that vicinity died from COVID. So
All right.
somewhere lies the truth.
I'm seeing, hold on, let me see some. Okay, all right, no, that's first.
Okay. Just
And
said
we have to
hard
be
to
careful
get
about,
the
we have to be careful about that story about the judge. Yeah, not the judge, the Bacchus family.
Well, it's alleged.
Okay.
Now we always
It's
say it's
alleged.
alleged.
We don't know for sure.
Right.
But Judge said hard to get the populace vaccinated with so much I think she mean misinformation regarding the vaccines. Sandra Sterling said, I went to Sprouts yesterday and today, Whole Food stores, and all these customers are buying a lot of wine. I said, what is going on? Is there a sale? The response was, the kids are going back to school. Lorna said, I'm hoping the government could spend a week giving us some food before the lockdown. Yeah, and not
You
for
know, I
selective.
thought about that. Now, Diana always said that there's need to be something that they give to the people.
Mhm.
And I think this is where it is. And they should be giving out some food to the people if they want to stay. I still am wondering, why is it that you close for 3 days, open for 4 days, close for 3 days? What do you think is going to happen in those 4 days?
No, somebody advise him. I guess.
But what is going to happen in those 4-day periods? Because I mean, that doesn't even make no sense. It's more COVID you're spreading that because people are going to come together. You know, people are going to come together because they leave, you know, they're also 3 days and then have no food, no water, no this and that, and them all have a time now to go. They won't hurry up and go and go take up everything when they want to take up. All party too.
Yeah, but I think
because I know
it's kind of rough, but I think they should have distribution centers.
Yeah, well,
Communities.
The churches and the schools.
That's what I was gonna churches, schools, and such to give out food. I have food banks and give people and then just lock down for a period of time.
The government
should hire me.
Let me tell you something. One depend on them. The government want the people to depend on them because it's a backfire now, right? Yes. But if they want them to depend on them for politics and for election, they need to also fess up when the people them need them, right?
The people them need for demand better.
Yes,
exactly, and stop the fight and the cuss for them. And for them family are dead. And yes, them a fight and fuss for them. Claudia said, from what I understand, people get handled based on party affiliation, which is not fair. I hate seeing it.
We don't want to hear that at all, you know?
Ladies and gentlemen, of my grand jury here, it's 10:26. We have a few minutes to wrap up our show. We could go on for another hour easily.
You see them chatty people? They do that? Then chatty, you see? Jesus!
So Leo, we invite you to make your comments now.
On a personal note, I want everyone to understand that I never, ever regret anything that I do. I have no problem talking about my history, my journey, because I have a feeling that one day someone is going to learn something from my experience and to make them experience much better. The only way they're going to know how to do it is if me pass on my journey. And my journey is open market. Anybody can ask me any question, and I don't fear it. And so please feel free, my book is coming out soon. You can buy it.
Yes, Michelle and I are editors.
Yes.
Yes. We'll
That's it
have
for
a
me.
big party.
That's
But
it
that's
for
why
me.
you want to say that to tell people to protect themselves.
No, that's
Michelle,
your job. That's your
you,
job.
Trish.
I never step on your toe.
Well, everybody in Jamaica, not only Jamaica, here in the US, as I see in Florida, is getting really heartbreaking because it's getting closer to home with those who are infected and dying. So people, if you're inclined, please take the vaccine if it's available, because we know we have limited vaccines in Jamaica. But if it's not available, follow the protocols, sanitize, social distance, wear your mask. If you don't have to go out, don't go out. I don't know why you people love to party. You could party in your bedroom, turn on some music and dance,
Hey, listen to Leo.
Hey, listen to Leo. When you're on
1
again,
minute
Leo,
to go.
Saturdays.
Yes, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday,
Friday,
6 o'clock.
exactly, and have a big party, a Zoom party.
And then come listen to us on Tuesday night and Saturday morning, right?
Yeah.
1 minute to
So
go.
protect yourselves and protect your family and do what's right. And don't be so reliant on government to guide you. You have to take the initiative because we're all human. We have an initiative. We need to protect ourselves. So do what's right for you and your family and your community. Sanitize, social distance, wear your mask, take vaccine if it's available to you, and have a lovely rest of the week and night.
All right. Thank you both. Thank you, Leo. Thanks, Mish. Everybody take care as you prepare for school. Consider all the things that that have been said to you. Leo, thanks very much for allowing us to impose on you.
Thank you. Have a nice evening, everybody.
Good night.